If your spouse passed away tomorrow, could the CRA legally take 53% of their entire RRSP? For many Canadians, the answer is a shocking yes. But a single checkbox that I'll show you in this video is the only thing standing in their way. Coming up in this video, you'll learn 3 critical things that could seriously impact your family's financial future. First, what actually happens to your RRSP when you die, including the default rules most Canadians don't realize even exist. Second, what could go wrong if your spouse isn't named as beneficiary? We're talking unexpected taxes, probate, and even creditor claims. And third, how to solve all of this with proper planning, including a quick checklist to help you avoid the most common mistakes, like forgetting to update beneficiaries after marriage, divorce, or major life changes. Let's get into it. So why is any of this important? Well, recently, a Canadian woman inherited her late husband's RRSP. He had done the right thing. He named her directly as the beneficiary, rather than letting it roll to his estate. In most cases, that's the clean way to do it. No probate, no immediate taxes, everything transfers smoothly. But then the CRA showed up and demanded his unpaid personal taxes from her. Their argument that under tax law, she was still considered his spouse even after death, so they believed they had the right to collect. The case went to court and the judge did not agree. As it turns out, the law doesn't define spouse the way the CRA was interpreting it. And because the RRSP passed directly to her outside of the estate, the CRA had no legal ground to stand on. The lesson here: if your RRSP or RRIF defaults to estate, your spouse could end up responsible for paying your tax bill, all because of a simple checkbox you didn't realize mattered. Here's the truth most people don't realize. When someone with an RRSP passes away, CRA generally treats them as having received the plan's fair market value immediately before death. That full fair market value goes on the deceased's final return, which can push total income into the top tax bracket. But here's the good news. If you name your spouse or common law partner as the direct beneficiary, the amount can be treated as a refund of premiums to the survivor. The survivor includes it in income, then transfers it to their RRSP or RRIF to defer tax, so there's no immediate tax. Children or financially dependent grandchildren can sometimes qualify for a similar deferral. If the RRSP is paid to the estate, it's trickier. You can still defer the tax to a qualifying survivor by having the legal representative and the survivor file CRA Form T2019 to deem the amount a refund of premiums. Amounts routed through the estate will generally be subject to probate outside of Quebec and may be exposed to creditors. What's the bottom line? Without a proper beneficiary listed, your entire RRSP can be taxable when you die, but with a few smart steps now, your family can avoid that and keep more of what you've saved. So how do you avoid probate, CRA surprises, and court headaches? It's actually simple, but only if the paperwork is done right and kept up to date. First, go through all your registered accounts like RRSPs, RRIFs, TFSAs, and make sure your spouse or common law partner is named directly as the beneficiary or successor holder. This lets the money bypass your estate, avoid probate, and keep the tax deferral going. If you're already retired and you've moved your RRSP into a RRIF, name your spouse as the successor annuitant. That means the RRIF can keep going in their name with no interruption and no surprise taxes. Next, add a backup beneficiary. That way, if your spouse passes first, the account doesn't default to your estate. Finally, keep everything up to date. If you've gone through a divorce, had a new child, moved provinces, or opened new accounts, that's your cue to review your designations. This is your 15-minute audit. It's fast, it's easy, and it protects everything you've worked for. If you've added your spouse as the main beneficiary and listed a backup just in case, then you've already taken a huge step to protect your RRSP from taxes, delays, and legal messes. But that's just one side of the plan. Now let's make sure your RRSP is actually working for you while you're alive. Watch this next. It's a short 5-minute video that walks you through the RRSP basics, things like contributions, tax deductions, how your money grows, and when it eventually has to convert to a RRIF. It's the best place to start if you want to feel comfortable about your RRSP from start to finish.